Are you looking to level up your author business?
Are you pounding your head against a wall, wondering what your next step should be? Then join me, Daniel Wilcox.
And me, Sacha Black, as we haul ass each week in a bid to level up.
Level up!
Come along for the ride as we delve deep into the business of writing,
Craft,
entrepreneurship,
and every level of the author journey. This is the Next Level Author Podcast.
Hello, Achievers. This is episode, God damn it, 29? 29 of the Next Level Author Podcast. A podcast where we hold each other to account and track our step-by-step progress as we level up our author businesses. My name's Sacha Black, and here with me every week is...
Daniel Wilcox.
Yeah, it is.
There's never a non-cheesy way to say that.
I don't know where that
Is this a callback to our dance off earlier?
It really is, yeah. I definitely over dinner had music playing in the kitchen, and we were just dancing like idiots, like for the whole of dinner, like the whole way through. We'd have like a bite of pizza, and then we'd like get up and dance. It was very fun. I don't know why I'm telling you this on the podcast, but anyway.
Why not? Would have been better if you'd filmed it, but we'll settle with just a retelling.
No, I think there is enough of me making a fool out of myself on film.
What are you talking about, Angel?
Oh, wow, you went there. Oh, I see how this is going.
That's how it begins.
I am not going to forget, my darling. I am not going to forget. Okay, so check in. How are you this week?
Yeah, doing well. I mentioned last week that I created a production schedule for myself, which is all like automatic tallying of how many words I've got going, when things are meant to be finished and all that, and I've stuck with that, which is nice, because I've basically planned it to the end of the year. So I've now got this visual overview of what I need to do, how far I'm pushing with certain stuff, and it's nice to know that in a few weeks things will start to lessen up and get off my plate a bit. But yeah, generally good. It's been a week I've pulled back from the gym a little bit, just because I had a situation at the beginning of the week in which I had to keep my son for a bit extra because of COVID, and it was my mornings are still a bit all over the place, going back to like the morning routine episode. So I'm trying not to be like too just strict and rigid with things having to happen. And obviously I'm moving in like 6 weeks as well now, so there's a lot going on. But to be fair, I'm keeping positive. Like I've felt good this week. I've given myself more sleep.
That you're keeping positive.
No, yeah. But yeah, I've given myself more time to sleep and just rest, and it's paying off. And I've ended up taking the whole weekend off last weekend, which I said I was going to take Saturday off, and I've booked this weekend off as well. So
I am proud of you.
It's a weird thing to be proud of, but there it is.
It's weird when you're a workaholic, though, you know. So
the thing is, I think we've said this before. Like sometimes it doesn't feel like work, but you do get to a point in which your brain needs to switch to something else to just proactively be able to rest that side of your brain. So yeah, it makes sense. And I've got some just fun things lined up this weekend and stuff, so should be good. How about you? How was your week? I know the answer, but tell the audience.
Yeah. You do know the answer, because we're still on Zoom every single day, all day, whilst we're like sprinting. I have to say though, like I am loving the Zoom sprints, because I get so much more done than I ever would have done like by myself, because you just can't be sly about not working. So we're just smashing out work. So how's my week been? It's been up and down. So on Friday of last week, so we are on the 16th of October. So a week ago would have been the 9th of October. Is that? I don't know. Yeah. So on the 9th of October, my son got sent home from school because somebody in his year group had a positive COVID test result.
Positivity.
And yeah, not quite. And so he was home for a whole school week plus 2 weekends and the Friday. So more or less 14 days, not quite 14 days, but more than 10 days, whatever it was. Anyway, and his quarantine ends at midnight tonight. But what that meant is the school was sending a metric fuckload of work, which genuinely did take from like 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. to do all the schoolwork. And there was an expectation that he did the schoolwork. So I basically didn't really get anything done for a whole week, which I am not in a position to be able to just not work for a week unless I've planned that. So like if I plan a week to have off, then I will have done everything I need to do before that week. So yeah, it's been really stressful, I would say, and I don't really want to repeat that, but it also pushed me over the edge, and I have got a VA, so there is some positives.
You do.
Yeah, I do, I really do. And we're doing a trial week next week, and this is definitely the week that pushed me over the edge, because just can't cope. So I've got VA, and I'm deliriously excited at that.
If you want to see
prospect.
Sacha's to-do list, jump into the Rebel Author Facebook group and look at her accountability list, and that's about half of it.
Yeah, it is. I actually don't put everything on there, because I'm always because everyone's always like, your list is ridiculous. I'm like, I know, everything. But yes, anyway, so I am good. Right, that's check-in over and done with. So we're going to add a new segment each week, aren't we?
We are. I'm very excited
Sacha.
about this. Of course I am.
Right, okay, so Brett kindly posted in the Facebook group, and I don't know why we didn't think about this. Maybe because we made this podcast all about us. So selfish.
Because we're pretty much overloaded with work as well. But this is a good thing. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I am super excited about this, and I'm so glad that he did this. So Brett Jackson, thank you so much if you are listening. Brett posted in the Facebook group for Next Level Authors that he leveled up today. He signed up to a copywriter and editing online diploma course, and he just wanted to share the good news. I fucking love that. I love that he leveled up. I love that he shared the news. And so we want to add a weekly level up. So if you guys level up in any way, shape or form, it can be a big level up, it can be a small level up, it can be something in between, please do post it in the group and tag us as well, and then we'll definitely see it, and we will shout out your level up of the week, because I think that's awesome. And I love that we can celebrate other people's leveling up as well. So let us know. Okay.
And congratulations, Brett. Good luck with everything that's upcoming.
Yeah, totally. And I hope you smash the course.
Easy.
Right, your turn.
Oh, okay. So another bit of announcing newsment. We have started a Patreon page for the Next Level Author podcast. So there's no expectation from anyone to get involved with this. This is literally anyone who wants to get a little bit more from the show, support us on all that we're doing. We kept it nice and simple. There's not a whole lot to it. It's basically over at www.patreon.com/next level authors. Link will go in the show notes. And we have two tiers. We have the silver tier, which is $2 a month, in which you can get early access to the episodes and you get a shout out live on the podcast. And we have a $5 a month tier, in which we'll do a live monthly Q&A. So we'll basically throw a link out there to anyone on that tier. And you can basically just join me and Sacha for a bit of giggly fun at the end of each month. Ask any questions you have, and basically just almost like one of these episodes, but you'll be there as well, which will be a lot of fun. As well as 10% discount off of any of our courses and services. And that's something that, although I kind of teased it in the last week's episode, there's a lot more of that upcoming. So that could be quite useful for you guys. But like we say, it's not in any way to grab people's money. It's none of that. It's just literally the options there for people who want to get involved, who want to get a little bit more. And that's over at patreon.com/next level authors.
I don't remember if I even mentioned that I launched a course, because I have no recollection of last week. Did I mention the course?
You mentioned soft launching in your task, but I don't think you did an official thing.
Okay. Well, so, and speaking of 10% off, I will have to create a coupon code for that, because I haven't done that yet. So you'll have to remind me to do that. So I launched my first ever course, which is the Anatomy of Prose, the Senses. And okay, so like, this is the thing. I wanted, Dan is doing the most spectacular dancing, and because it's not him talking, you can't see it, but I am seeing some spectacular dancing, guys. What was I even saying? Okay, so basically I wanted to create the Anatomy of Prose course, but in trying to create a course that from a book that is already a fucking tome, I realized that I really should not do that, because I would end up duplicating and not actually going any deeper. And the whole point of a course is to go deeper than the book. So what I learned is that I have to micro niche down and go and take very small subtopics from the book and go into detail in those. So that's what I'm going to do, and I may flit between that book and some of the other books, and maybe even some marketing courses. I've had quite a few people ask me for marketing and business information recently, and just need to get over myself and do it. But anyway, if you guys want to improve your prose, improve your descriptions, your sensory writing, deepen your characterization, then you can by taking this course. It's over 3 hours of content. There's all videos, audio, transcripts, there's a workbook, there's exercises, there's examples. It's pretty fucking good, even if I say so myself. So yeah, you can check it out at sashablack.thinkific.com.
Link in show notes.
Link in the show notes. I'm going to forget all of the links that we're supposed to put in the show notes. I can't even remember.
Yeah.
I know there was another one. What was the other one?
Something or other.
Awesome.
Patreon, right? Or was it before that?
Feel like it was before that. Anyway, let's move on. All right, so
it's late in the UK, and by late I mean 8 p.m.
Yeah, that's late for me. I've just taken painkillers, so I've got that bad of a headache. Anyway, right, thing of the week. What did you enjoy?
So I'm going to be cheaty, I think, here, and I'm going to say my boot camp. So obviously we spoke last week about, was it last week, the week before, about what have you learned about selling yourself, and obviously there's some sort of hesitation with myself and selling myself into certain services. So I'm excited to say that I've got people signed up to the boot camp, and day by day I'm getting sort of odd people trickle in here and there. I've added an extra set of dates and times just based off people's feedback. So originally I was doing 8 p.m. till 9:30 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays through November. I have also added 11 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. for people who might be in different time zones that want to jump in. Spaces are going, and I've got 20% off for the first 20 people that sign up, and that's almost gone. So get over to danielwilcox.com/bootcamp to get your place on the bootcamp. And yeah, I'm very excited. I've had some familiar faces join in, some people that I've never met before. So I'm excited to dive in and just whip people's asses into shape so they can crush nano.
I can't wait to see how this goes for you. I'm excited because you're like a positive cheerleader, and I don't know, like, yeah,
it's gonna be brutal. I am full on setting timers. I'm gonna set timers. They're gonna beep. It's gonna happen. We're gonna go. There's gonna be none of the crap that we do in our Zooms. Like there's not gonna be like 5 minutes is up, chat, dance, background change. We're gonna just jump in, hit the timer, and fucking go.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it so much. I would just like to say we do actually get loads of work done as well. Like, let's be real. You have written 25,000 words this week. It's not like we haven't done work.
I have, and loads of extra stuff too.
All right. Weekly confessional. Shite. I can't.
What's your thing you enjoyed?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. God, what is wrong with me? I'm like, bam, 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 bam this evening.
Militant. I think you should run the boot camp.
Yeah, come on, fuck out this guy. Let's go away. No, I should not do it. I'd be terrible. Oh yeah, okay. Oh wait, no, thing of the week. I was still looking for what we'd achieved. I mean, achieved. Oh my god, what we were supposed to do. Yes. All right. Sorry. I'm sorry. Janet Murray. I have been binge listening to Janet Murray's podcast. It is amazing. So Janet Murray is a content marketer. She is a marketer, an entrepreneur. She is fascinating and deeply inspiring, and has given me so many ideas all week. I actually, in fact, more than a week. I think I've been binge listening for about 2 weeks now, and every single podcast there is something tangible that I have to go away and write down. Now, I will just be clear, I am not listening in order. So a lot of her recent ones are talking about her conference, which is coming up on the 3rd and 4th of November, I think, which I might be speaking at.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Hashtag definitely am. And so I'm not necessarily listening to the most recent ones, but when you go down and dig in, there's absolutely loads of stuff, like, you know, how to grow your Instagram, how to do content marketing, mistakes you're making, like all of this kind of stuff. And yeah, I am like buzzing my tits off of this podcast because I'm just so full of ideas and like constantly trying to write stuff down for all of the ideas that I've got. So yeah, that's what I've enjoyed this week.
Nice. She's in my sphere of the universe as well at the minute, because I was talking to Meg Cowley about this the other day. Like, she popped up on one thing, you then sent a podcast about it, Meg sent me something about her, and it was something like out of nowhere. She was just popping
She's
up in all
stalking
of
you.
my spheres of attention. Yeah, it's just maybe she's found her way into my little funnel of the internet.
Well, she must have done, because she is in the sphere of where you're going, so that doesn't surprise me. But also, how fucking good is she at her job? If like you only just slid into her sphere and all of a sudden she's all over everything. I mean, like, props to her. All right, now can we do weekly accountability?
If you wanna.
Yeah, because I did not fail, bitch. Right, Dan will reach over the halfway mark of When Winter Comes, episode 6, and stay ahead of his production schedule.
Yes, I have done so, and feeling good about it. Getting I'm just in that end of When Winter Comes, just narrowing down to the finish line. It's like just trying to pull off the satisfying ending. It's probably going to be rough. I'm going to have to edit it and have a look at it, but yeah, on it, doing it, making it happen, getting it done.
Love it. And Sacha will survive. I did survive, and she will work on one of her speaking gigs that is coming up. Well, amazingly, not only did I work on one, yeah, sunshine, I am never failing again. Not only did I work on one, I worked on one and delivered that presentation. And then I worked on a second speaking gig, and this is the Janet one. And I'm very close to finished on that as well. I've probably got about 3 or 4 slides left to do. Then I've still obviously got to practice it and then record it and then deliver it live. But like, the hard bit for me is always doing the slides, because that's when I do my thinking, because that, like, I was telling somebody else about this today, like, that is how I do my thinking, and then I can just talk to the slides, which I don't think I knew that I did that before. So yeah, that's like the drafting of a book for me, in a way.
Yeah.
Anyway, random.
Yeah, I found that when I prepped one of my speeches was making that presentation. That is your kind of like just stepping stones towards actually just making it happen.
Yeah, and but I don't think like, when I used to have to do presentations at work in the corporate world, I would have to write a script as well. But now I think, because I know I think that's because I wasn't passionate. I didn't give a shit about what I was talking about. Whereas now, because I love my topic, and I have researched intensively and deeply, and I know stuff inside out, I can just look at a slide and talk to it, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. This is weird. I didn't think I could do that. Anyway, comments.
So last week's close Slack that had all the things on it. So last week's question was, what are your strengths? And we had, as usual, loads of comments. So thanks everyone for getting in touch. Lots of people that enjoyed laughing at Sacha. So that's always a bonus.
Cheers, guys.
Jackie, I timed this. There was 1 minute and 50 of just laughter.
Was there actually?
There was 1 minute 50. Jackie Reuter says, my strengths are definitely in the teaching realm. This actually makes my author dreams difficult, because I know I'm a good teacher and it feels selfish to leave this career. I love the feeling of helping my students reach for their goals, and I pride myself on never shooting down their dreams. I focus on students, not the content. My saving grace in all of this is that if I never reach for my goals, it would feel rather hypocritical, since I'm always pushing them to reach for theirs. And I did put in the comments for him that I actually do know quite a lot of authors who tread that line between teaching and writing and make a happy living out of doing both. People like Paul Tremblay, people like Jonathan Jazz, and loads of them do it. So that is also a possibility. Lucy Mitchell says, this brilliant episode is a must-see on YouTube. Agreed. And we actually doubled our usual YouTube viewing within the first hour of it being live. She says she's known you for a while, and seeing you in angel attire made her spew her coffee. That's what we go for in the show. Caitlin Duncan says, I'm so sorry for laughing, Sacha Black, but this forfeit had me in stitches. When it comes to strength, she leans towards the Gallup themes as well. Exploring a lot this year after a bit of a breakdown in March. There is work to be done, but I'm prepared to 10x the strengths which come most naturally, which is obviously the point of that conversation. Edwin says his strength, since he makes a point of avoiding all those tests that claim they classify him, he has to wing it. It may be that he's an accommodator, because the one thing he hates to do is let someone down. If he gives them the word, he'll do everything in his power to finish it, which I think is an admirable quality in itself, even if you don't sort of diagnose what your traits are, what personality you fit in. And then Harley says, my top 5 are as follows: restorative, developer, empathy, learn, and responsibility. So other people there who have taken that test already. And again, too many comments to go into, but thank you everyone for sending those in. As usual, keep commenting and we'll try and get to as many as we can with each episode.
Yep. And I did reply this week.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So question of the week. Yeah, boy. All right. So my question, you can answer this in any which way you feel. I love the fear that just flashed through your eyes. Yeah, you can. So obviously, I have thought about this for a while, like 2 hours, and so I have had a chance to think about my response, and I still don't think I have an angle. Anyway, I'm going to stop procrastinating. Um, so the question is, I don't know why I'm like building this up so much. It's going to be such a letdown.
Come on, Davina.
All right. When is it time to let go? Or how do you know when to let go? How do you know when to let go?
Okay. So let's go business, because this is the Next Level Author podcast.
But I see you wanting to go personal.
I think some of the principles will be the same, and I think some of it might actually touch a little bit on your conversation you had with Jay about switching business focus. So for me, letting go generally seems to come from either a disinterest in what I'm currently working on, or very, very clear signs that there is something else on the horizon that I should be doing. So one thing that touching this into my personal life, one thing that massively changed my personal life like a few years ago was I found the quote. It was a quote, or it was a saying or a parable or something that was along the lines of most people only ever change because of two factors. One of those is desperation. One of those is inspiration. So it can either be that everything is telling you that you need to let go and move on and go to something else, or it can either be that you're ready to put aside things that aren't working because you know that you've got that first bite of something exciting that you're moving towards. I'm trying to think where to narrow this down to, because it's quite a broad one. Yes, she nods. I think it's time to let go. So I would say I cling on too long to things. I hold on to things far longer than I should, and put a lot of effort into making things happen. And it's only sort of months, years later that I get to a point where I'm like, yeah, no, I should probably let this go. Because say, for example, I am talking about like a friendship, and you realize after a few years that you're the person that's making all the effort to speak to that someone, to see that someone. They're not not that they're not bothered to see you, but they're just not making that effort. So is it worth the effort? I'll be the person that's like keeping that relationship going for ages and ages and ages, and then get to a point where it's like, yeah, well, nothing's coming of it. Like there's no benefit for either. When it comes to things like work, I've changed careers quite dramatically. When I came out of uni, I think I've spoken briefly about this. I was doing a lot of free running, I was doing a lot of parkour, and I was coaching, and I was enjoying the coaching, but it was like getting me by day to day. And then I broke my wrist, and in that moment, I could have, and I did coach with a broken wrist for a good 6 months, maybe to a year, before I got like an internship in the University of Lincoln and started working in their publications department. But the actual moving from thinking that my career was going to be free running to going towards this job was quite a big mental shift, because even though I had a broken wrist, and even though I had doctors basically telling me, because I've also got like a mild form of tendonitis in my knees, even though the doctors were like, basically you won't run again, you won't be able to do parkour again, which is all bullshit. I've done it since, I'm better, like it's fine. But like making that transition from, okay, I need to think of something that I'm interested in, something that's more sustainable, something that sort of fills the pieces that I was missing in life, because I was making money, but I wasn't making as much money as I needed to. I left uni, I was going to like soon becoming a dad and all that kind of stuff, and there was a lot of reasons to move forward and to let go of the thing that I loved. And like I say, I don't let go easily. Like parkour, even now, I'm one of those people that, like, if I could just have a day again, just back doing that, and I get nostalgic very easily over stuff like that. But I've worked a lot on trying to not be as weighed down by the past and to be excited about the future. And that's been successful somewhat, I think. And even sort of most recently, we've had conversations about how a lot of my drive has been in making money from fiction, yet most of my happiness has been coming from helping other authors or speaking to other authors or doing stuff like this, and just being transparent and being out there and just really enjoying the people that I talk to. And so there is an element going into 2021 where I'm going to slow down my fiction, which feels like a big thing to pull my foot off the gas for, because I've been driving pretty much since before I became full-time. Like, people obviously are familiar with the way that like Michael Anderle and his team work. Like, they write fast, and I'm in that system. And I want to pull out of that system a little bit. Like, I still enjoy writing. I still want to put out as many products as I can, but I do want to slow down, because I think it's like better for like my mental health, for my production, for the quality of the books and everything that I'm writing. And once you get stuck into a particular mindset, it is difficult to switch that and let go of what you've been doing for so long to try and curve into something else. I mean, I can kind of keep babbling like this for very little. I don't know if that covers anything that you're kind of like looking for, but
Well, it's interesting because I wasn't sure where you were going to take this, but because it was definitely a selfish question. But like, now that you have started talking, I see just how relevant that question is for you as well. And the fact that actually some of that is about, like, I love that you touched on the direction that you're going, and that, you know, in slowing down your fiction, some of that is about letting go and allowing yourself to do the thing that's making you happy. And, you know, that doesn't mean you're not going to ramp up the fiction again or whatever. It just means you're doing what makes you happy now.
well, people like me and you, we get very tunnel visioned.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And once you're in that zone, it's like, this has to happen. And then it takes like someone to basically swing a wrecking ball in your face to go, does it? For you to go,
Does it?
oh, maybe it doesn't. Like that week, a few weeks back, when like obviously I went on the show for a couple of weeks, like everything then was like, no, I have to be doing this. I've got this book, I've got this, I'm doing this. And then you basically was just like, bitch, stop.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
Yeah, just got rid of me for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. But I really, like, looking back, I really needed that
I
particular
know.
time. I was just falling down this hole of just like do. And yeah, oh, why did Baby Shark come into my fucking head?
Oh, if only that wasn't licensed, we could totally do a ring over the top of this.
But yeah, it's so it links into there as well. How about yourself?
All right. So, I mean, I asked this because of the VA situation. And what I found most interesting about what you were talking about is that I am sort of the other way round. So I find it really, really difficult to let go of the control. I can't even get it out
Wow.
because I'm like, you know, I can't. I find it so difficult to let go of the control in my business. Like, I have poured everything, like every cell, every minute of my waking being, everything, every part of me has gone into this for like the last 7 years. And like, it is so much a part of me that letting go is incredibly hard for me. Like, I am a control freak, but it's more than that. It goes deeper than that. Like, it's I have created this and I've built it, and trying to let go of that is to let, and I'm finding it so hard to even talk about this, but like, if you do look at my strengths, like the Gallup stuff, I don't have a lot of the relationship stuff in there. So for me to bring somebody into my safe space and my baby essentially, is really hard. I have to work with somebody, I have to trust somebody, that's really hard for me. And this week showed me that, God, look at me, I am actually emotional. Like, this week just showed me that, wow, I'm exhausted, and I'm not going to be able to grow my business unless I let go. And for the good of me, in order to be able to continue to do the fiction projects, the non-fiction projects, like, I have to let go. And like, that is such a overwhelming prospect. But the weird thing for me is that as soon as I got off that phone call, do you know the overriding emotion I felt?
Relief.
Yeah. What? For goodness sake, I hope that you do this. Yeah, I felt relief. That's all I felt. I felt this absolutely all-encompassing relief. And I was like, I should have done this a really long time ago. But relief, excitement, because I'm going to get so much time back. And yeah, I don't know. On the other side of that, I am 50 shades of brutal in my personal life. And so when it comes to people, I will give them everything. I will give somebody my all. They will have all of me. Like I think I am a like moderately intense person to be friends with. Just for But I am. I'm sure you can attest to that. Yeah, like I'm a lot of person in one 5'5" body, So, but so when I've given myself to somebody, like, who whatever kind of friend or whatever this is, even partners, ex-partners, if you cross me, you are fucking dead to me. That's it. Like I have lost a lot of friends over the years, and I do just let go because like I will give someone and I will give and I'll give another inch, and then there will get to a point where somebody will have crossed me so many times. And I had a whole experience after we had Atlas that I lost a whole group of like 25 friends. And like literally overnight they all came to visit, and then because I couldn't go out drinking, that was it. I didn't hear from anyone. Some of them I've actually never heard from since that day that they came to visit.
Jesus.
Yeah. So and this has happened like on more than one occasion over time in my personal life. So I have a very small group of friends, and that's it. And I and just, but on the other side of that, I very much feel that if you don't let go of like bad emotions from your past, the only person that poisons is you. So I'm quite good also at forgiving. Like me and my dad never really got on when I was a kid, and we sort of got to my early 20s, and I just was like, I'm so sick of holding on to all of this anger and stuff, so I just let it go. And now we have an amazing relationship. And yeah, like, so I don't know, in my personal life I feel like I'm really good at letting go, but not so much on the business side. And so this has been a revolutionary week for me, like emotionally, business wise. Yeah, and I am excited to see what happens going forward, to see how much time this gives me. Fingers crossed I can continue to afford it, because I don't want to, like that was another reason I did want to get to a point where I knew I would be able to afford to do this going forward, because I didn't want to offload and then have to take it back. So
totally get that. Yeah, it's interesting because I mean, you've cheated because you stole the question I was going to ask you anyway to ask me this week. You've just rephrased it. But like I always wondered what the journey was like going from work to VA, because I always suspected that there was an element of you have to, fill your own plate, but you have to be spilling stuff over to have that extra stuff to bring in the money to warrant them bringing that. There has to be a period of, foot on the gas, just full on humming it until like you can't take anymore, because I don't know. It just feels like the natural progression of things. And obviously, like you say, you need to be confident that you've got enough work to hand over, which you definitely do. You need to be confident that you've got enough money coming in that you can pay that person and keep them going, because you are then looping someone into your business. They're relying on you for income and stuff. They're obviously not employees, but they are in some way relying on your money. So there's a lot of steps there. And it was obvious from a mile off that this was going to come very, very soon. So I'm excited to see what happens from it, and congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, we can talk more offline about how, like, the point at which I felt it business wise. But yeah, like, do you think one will be in your life next year, maybe?
We'll see. I don't know. I mean, the hope is yes.
Yeah.
Hope is to get to that point. But
how are we leveling up our business this week?
So I'm going to continue sticking to the production schedule, which is 15,000 words of When Winter Comes, to finish this book. Could be less, could be more. Who knows? It's me. And I've also got some more client work within that. But on top of that, I'm also going to guarantee that I complete one of my because basically for people listening, I mentioned last week about me getting into like coaching and stuff for writers and whatnot. And I'm basically laying all the foundations for that at the minute. And I've completed kind of one package this week. I'm going to complete another one next week and just get that. I say underway, it's already underway, but basically just get that solid, cemented and ready to go.
So that's going to be finished. Is that the phrasing that you would like to use?
One package will be finished.
One more package will be finished, or the one that you've already finished?
One more package will be finished.
Oh, I'm going to get you, you son of a bitch. Okay, cool. So I will, what's the date? Oh, it will be Friday the 23rd. So I will have finished my presentation. I will have started working with the VA. I don't know, that doesn't really feel like a thing I should put down. That's not really relevant, is it? Okay, so forget that. I will have finished my presentation. Okay, so my things are going to be, I'm going to finish my presentation for Janet Murray's conference, and I am going to have started Becca Syme's Strengths for Writers course, which I'm super excited about. And I think that's all I'm going to put down. I obviously need to do a whole buttload of other stuff, but here's where I am unclear, because I have let go and given off all of this work to the VA. My brain is now like, all the stuff you can do.
Don't.
Yeah, no, I know. And so I just need to get
clear the plate.
Yeah, so probably one thing I will add is to have some kind of idea of what I'm going to do for the rest of the year, given my newly acquired time.
That's exciting.
But yeah, 3 things: a plan of what I'm going to do with my time, started Becca Syme's course, and finished my presentation. That's it. All right, audience question of the week. How do you know when it is time to let go? And you guys are free to answer this in terms of business or personal or both if you want to. All right.
Love it.
That's it. Don't forget to check our Patreon out, which was what? patreon.com/nextlevelauthors.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Nice and easy.
Wicked. Bye.
Bye.
Hungry for more?
If you enjoyed this podcast, you can hear more of my angelic accent and Dan's dulcet tones on our other podcasts.
For more of me, check out the Great Writer Share podcast.
For more of me, listen to the Rebel Author podcast. We'll be back next week holding each other to account as Dan
and Sacha
become
Next Level
Authors.